semantic, pragmatic, phonetics, and other variety. You shall acquaint heroes and heroines. One extra package for school ages is quiz online. People of nobility can showcase powers on the biggest academic show, while schools and academic enthusiasts can power the quiz angle to augment the progressive dance stride flowing in the state of Osun. Contact numbers are 08034114959 or 08033760292. Aha! Golden Footprint, 11 to 11:30 on Saturday mornings with ADBC Abdul, a challenge greater than in tantalizing fantasy. You're welcome on to your dining education program, Good Footprints on OSBC. There we Okibale here in the state of Osun with ADBC Abdul. As we usually have it on this particular show. The first segment is always what? It's always on grammar. That is what we tag syntax. That is grammatical aspect of the program, whereby we are going to look at a particular word, then having two symmetrical angle. Then it is going to be as terms in production. That is what we look at. The first one is to made up, or to made up, or to make up. That is, it is used. That is when things are made. Still can be seen when you say that something is made of something. That thing you can still see it. For example, now the metal that is used to make the table. This table, you can still see it. The only thing is that during the production processes, it might have been cut, be sold, and so on, but you can still see it. That is when you say made of. That is, you can say the chair. That is the furniture is made of what? The furniture is made of wood. That is, you can still see the wood. After all, it might have passed through some processes, but you can still see the wood, even if it is covered. Yes, if it is covered with a leather, you still believe that what is covered with the leather is what is still the wood. Therefore, you say made of what? Then you say the furniture is made of wood. There, I hope you understand. But when you say the same made, when you use for it, it means that when you say something is made what? Made from something. That means that that thing is what was made through a particular material or object, but you cannot see it again. It has been totally transformed into another state. Therefore, when you say something is made from something, let us look at it from food now. From food, you know that pounded yam. Look at that one. That's very, very simple. Pounded yam is made from yam. That is what? That is it. But you can what? You will see something was succulent. That is after the production. You cannot see the solid yam again. You understand that? Therefore, you can when you want to use made from for what? For pounded yam. But you don't use made up for what? For pounded yam. Likewise, when you are talking about bread is made not of, it is made from what? From flour, because it is only somebody who can believe, can know that the flour, you know how flour is the one that is used to produce bread. Now I hope you can see it. Look at the content of the two. You can never see the flour in it. The way you can see wood from what? From any furniture. Am I communicating in that way? Therefore, I hope you are following me in the use that is the dichotomy between made of and what? And made from. Let us look at this example more so you can be able to understand it. Bricks are made of cement. Look at it. Bricks are made of cement. If you say bricks are made of cement, it is ungrammatical, because what? You cannot see the cement again. Am I communicating? You cannot see what? You cannot see the cement again, because the cement you have mixed it up with water, with sand, and some other things like that. Then you have made it to be concrete. You know, it was flour. Then when you do the processing, then you change it to a brick, that is to a block form. Therefore, it is better to say that bricks are made from cement. Yes, bricks are made from cement. Okay, let us look at this one. Now, shoes, when you have something like this, shoes are made from leather. Shoes are made from leather. And when you look at the leather, you will still see, you can check your shoe. Brother Charles, check your shoes. I know that you wear leather shoe. You check, Mr. Johnson, check your Taiwo, check your shoe. You will see that you will still see the material with which it was made again. Therefore, you cannot say that shoes are made from leather. Yes, you must say shoes are made of leather, because you can still see the leather again. You can check your shoe, and because of whatever we do on the Golden Footprint is what is easy to do or to be practiced. It is full of practical. Therefore, you can check it yourself. Then we can still say what? We see that the leather with which something is produced. Now, let us look at another form, because I hope that one is fully understood. You can still read more on the formation of made, that is the collocation or conjunction. You can still read more, but we treated that of made of and made from. Therefore, if you have it in the exam or you are communicating in your daily activity, make sure that you master how you make use of all these things. That makes you to be closer to the first speaker, that is the L1. Then we call it L1 in linguistics. We call it L1, then we call it L2. Then the L1 belongs to the British one and the American whose language is English. Then English to us is L2 language too, where our own L1 is our Yoruba language. I hope you are following me. Now, we want to look at the difference between let and rent. We have said this thing about a few years ago. About a few months ago. Yes, let and the rent, when it comes to occupancy of a particular place, not only house, you use it for house, you use it for land, let and rent. Now, the way we use it is very, very important. The landlord is the one, please, I want you to understand, the landlord is the one who let out a house or a room to a person or to some people. Am I communicating? When you are talking about let, a tenant can never lend. A tenant can rent. Look at the difference between the two. A landlord lets out the room or space. It can be a space for what? For shop. A landlord, that is the owner of the space, is the one that lets it out, while the person who wants to use the affair person on agreement or payment, we rent it. I want you to make that one point blank. Let us make an understanding of that one. A landlord, please let it be understood. A landlord let out the house or a space, while a tenant rents an apartment or a room or a space. If that is the case, let us quickly go, because we don't have much time again. Let us look at examples to buttress what we have discussed. Number one is this. The tenant, look at this one. The tenant let the house from Mr. Ibrahim. The tenant let the house from Mr. Ibrahim is ungrammatical, because in this context, Mr. Ibrahim is the landlord. Yes. Now, it is better to say the tenant rented the house from Mr. Ibrahim. Look at it now. Direct and indirect speech. I hope you can see that. I always say that there are so many rules in the language and topics in the language, but all of them, they are the same, because there's no way you will be expert at one and you won't be expert at another one. Then people will know that you are not good enough. Therefore, let us make sure that whatever we know, let us remember them all the time. Therefore, as we said, that the tenant let the house from Mr. Ibrahim, and in this context, Mr. Ibrahim is the landlord. Therefore, it is ungrammatical. It is better to say the tenant rented the house from Mr. Ibrahim. That's what the little we have for you today. And don't forget that when you are in the class, when you have a tutorial or you have a class, the next thing is that you have assignment. as we usually do on Go the Footprint. Therefore, you take out your writing materials and put down these questions. And what we want you to do here is that we are going to firstly, I want you to make use of made of and made from. Two examples, simple sentences, and send it to me through the WhatsApp, the same number, or through SMA, the same number. Okay. Then number two is that we talk about let and rent. Let and rent, which I gave you just only one examples, and if you really understand the dichotomy between the two of them, you can be able to give hundreds of examples. Therefore, give me only two for rent, two for let. Okay, I hope you understand that. Now, that was the little we have for you today on that segment, that is syntax. So when we meet again, we are going to continue with this next segment. We are going to review the life history of a hero from this country, so I can know that Nigeria is what Nigeria are very, very proud. Let us entertain our young ones. Let us go to Charles. Charles, let us be what these children right. back onto your education program. That is, yes, you are still welcome. The next thing is I want to review, as I promised you before we went on the break, that we are going to review the life history of a particular professor in Nigeria. Actually, he has died, but he's still in our midst, because in as much as we are still referring to his artwork, that means is still living. Therefore, if somebody asks you who is your teacher, in as much as you belong to art, or you learn about creativity, then you are a student of this particular person. I can tell you that Johnson Tinoyo is a student of this person. Even Charles, who happens to be a science graduate, is a student of this one, because he must have read some things about this man. Who is that person? You are going to see the picture of the man. Therefore, everybody will believe that you have passed through him one way or the other. One of the professors in this country. Let's look at him. This is Chinua Achebe. He's a professor. Chinua Achebe made a splash with the publication of his first novel, Things Fall Apart, in 1958. Renowned as one of the seminal works of African literature, it has since sold more than 20 million copies and been translated into more than 50 languages. Achebe followed with novels such as No Longer at Ease, that is in 1960, Arrow of God in 1964, and Hills of the Savannah in 1987, and served as a faculty member at renowned universities in the US and Nigeria. He died on March 21, 2013, at the age of 82 in Boston, Massachusetts. Famed writer and educator Chinua Achebe was born Albert Chinualugu Mogu Achebe on November 16, 1930, in the Igbo town of Ogidi in eastern Nigeria, after becoming educated in English at the University College, now the University of Ibadan, that is UI, and a subsequent teaching stint. Achebe joined the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation in 1961 as Director of External Broadcasting. He would serve in that role until 1966. In 1958, Achebe published his first novel, Things Fall Apart. The groundbreaking novel centered on the clash between Native African culture and the influence of white Christian missionaries and the colonial government in Nigeria. An unflinching look at the discord. The book was a sterling success and became required reading in many schools across the world. In the 1960s, proved to be a productive period for Achebe. In 1961, he married Christy Chinwe Okoli, with whom he would go on to have 4 children, and it was during this decade he wrote the following novels. Things Fall Apart, No Longer at Ease in 1960, and Hour of God in 1964, as well as A Man of the People in 1966. All address the issue of traditional ways of life coming into conflict with new, often colonial points of view. In 1967, Achebe and poet Christopher Okigbo co-founded the Citadel Press, intended to serve as an outlet for a new kind of African-oriented children's book. Okigbo was killed shortly afterward in the Nigerian Civil War, and 2 years later, Achebe traveled to the United States with fellow writers Gabriel Okada and Cyprian Ekwensi to raise awareness of the conflict back home, giving lectures at the various universities. Through the 1970s, Achebe served in faculty position at the University of Massachusetts, the University of Connecticut, and the University of Nigeria. During this time, he also served as director of 2 Nigerian publishing houses, Man Educational Book Limited and Nwako Ivejika Limited. On the writing front, Achebe remained highly productive in the early part of the decade, publishing several collections of short stories and a children's book, How the Leopard Got His Claws, 1972. Also released around this time were the poetry collection Beware, Soul Brother, 1971, and Achebe's first book of essays, Morning Jet, on Creation Day, 1975. In 1975, Achebe delivered a lecture at UMass titled An Image of Africa, Racism in Conrad's Art of Darkness, in which he asserted that Joseph Conrad's famous novel, The Humanizes Africans, when published in essay form, it went on to become a seminal post-colonial African work. The year 1987 brought the release of Achebe's Anti-Ale of the Savannah, his first novel in more than 20 years. It was shortlisted for the Booker MC Cornell Prize the following year. He published Hopes and Impediment. In the 1990s began with tragedy. Achebe was in a car accident in Nigeria that left him paralyzed from the waist down and would confine him to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Soon after, he moved to the United States and taught at Bard College, just north of New York City, where he remained for 15 years. In 2009, Achebe left Bard to join the faculty of Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, as the David and Mariana Fisher University professor and professor of Africana Studies. That was the little I hope we have for you. You can still go through the net and learn more about this man, Achebe, who came. He conquered, yes, he saw and he conquered many things. This were positive. Therefore, how are you going to make your own? Therefore, it is now up to you. Let us now go on to the last segment on the show today, which is a phonology segment. I'm very sorry that we may not be able to interact with each other today due to to certain logistic or technical issues. Therefore, whatever you hear today, please work on it. Then you can communicate. As I will always tell you that this program is on live because the Department of Engineering. Thank you very much for streaming all the program that is particularly Good Footprint. Therefore, if you want to watch more or you want to contribute, you can go through the net. Then if you want to watch it, just tune into what OSBC, then you will see the platform with which you can watch it. You can watch it at your leisure time. That is if you are unable to watch it from the beginning to the end, that is the opportunity that OSBC gives to the world. Yes, we want to look at stress today. Stress. When we are talking about stress, that is in terms of phonology or phonics. We are talking about where the emphasis lies in the series of syllables. That is, we don't forget that we have said this sometimes ago that any word that you pronounce at once then has only one syllable, as we have known. It might contain more than 2, 3, 4 letters. In as well as you pronounce this one, then it's what it is. It has one. It is stressed automatically. Therefore, you follow up. Even stress itself has one syllable. Therefore, it is what it is. It is also stress. I hope you are following me. Boys, girls, and some things like that, they have only one. But in a situation whereby you have a double syllabic word, that is a 2-syllabic word, you have 3-syllabic word, or multi-syllabic word, then how can you locate where the stress lies is what we want to trace today. And the first thing is that the first logic is that whenever you see you see any word ending with ION or ending with IC, yes, in dictionary you see something like this, then you have IC or ION, or it ends, or a word ends with IAN. Therefore, it always receives the stress on the second syllable. Second to the last syllable. That is, whenever you see any word, please, you can practice it at your leisure time. Whenever you see any word ending with ION or ending with IC or ending with IAN, like Nigerian, then the stress will lie on the second to the last syllable. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Second to the last syllable. You can practice this one with interdenominationalism. You can practice all those ones. International, you can practice with those ones. You can intercontinental and some things like that. IC or AL and some things like that. Let us look at examples like this. When you look at word like a correction, when you look at word like correction, you have 3 syllables, as you know. You have COR as the first syllable, you have REC as the second syllable, and you have TION as the last syllable. And we have said, according to the rules that we have given at the beginning of this course, yes, the course, then we said that the second to the last syllable of a word carrying ION, that is ending with ION, is going to be what? Is going to be the one to be accentuated, that is to be what? To be stressed. And what is the sign? The sign is that you capitalize it. Now, when you are talking about a correction, you know that we have 3 syllables. Then the second to the last syllable will be rec. Mr. Charles, am I communicating? Yes, Tinoye, Johnson Tinoye, I hope I'm communicating. Taiwo, I hope I'm communicating. Thank you. God bless you for following this program. God bless you. Really good. Now, we said that the one carrying the word, carrying the stress is the one having what? That's Charles said that we should be rounding up. Okay, let me establish this thing before I go, because time cannot wait for us. Diola is over there and we is following us. Therefore, we must maintain the time. Therefore, the one in correction is the one rec, R-E-C, should be capitalized. Therefore, when you capitalize it, then you are correct. We may not be able to have, because we have a lot of things to do. Possibly, if we have the opportunity next time, we are going to do more justice to this particular topic. I want to appreciate all those who made today's publication. In reality, starting from our director, that is Mama Jolade Ibarola. Thank you very much. Imran, Alhaji Imran, thank you very much for being there for us. And we want to start from our TD. God bless you. Very good, my man. My very powerful brother, Mr. Charles. Thank you very much. Johnson Tinoye is my man. Thank you. Taiwo, thank you very much. Adeola Kande, thank you very much. By the grace of God, we are going to meet next week. I'm at DBC Abdul Aderoti. Bye for now.
What a lucrative, invaluable, scintillating, and explosive program on OSB television. Iliawiye Okebale Oshogbo Christine, Golden Footprint. Wow, this is for you and I to imbibe the culture of heroism. Golden Footprint, every Saturday, 11 to 11:30 in the morning, is garnished with extensive linguistic exquisiteness via semantic, pragmatic, phonetics, and other variety. You shall acquaint heroes and heroines. One extra package for school ages is quiz online. People of nobility can showcase powers on the biggest academic show, while schools and academic enthusiasts can power the quiz angle to augment the progressive dance stride flowing in the state of Osun. Contact numbers are 08034114959 or 08033760292.